Prior to me being born, there were some complications with my mother. Ectopic pregnancy. The fraternal twin was caught up in the fallopian tube, yet I was already in her uterus, fertilized, growing. So they had to go in and perform surgery and remove it. There's questions of whether the medicine or not affected me during my early development process. Our family did not know prior to me being born that I would be born without legs. I have never really understood so much like a fascination with me, but as I've gotten older, I realize there are a lot more people that want to get to know me for whatever reason due to my disability or my differences. And I take that all with a grain of salt. I don't think of myself, I'm not constantly focusing on how I'm different. I mostly worry about my life, and I have the same problems as everybody else and all the same issues that I have to deal with on a regular daily basis. I don't mind being different, but it's nicer when somebody's willing to come up to me. I find it odd, there's some parents who are like, oh, don't ask him or leave him alone. And I'm like, no, it's okay. If there are questions, I've always been open to answering them. To this day, I'm often asked by children, what happened to you? Where's your feet? Where's your legs? How do you walk? And I try to patiently answer every single one. There are people that tend to point or stare. That can be uncomfortable. Wheelchairs and disabilities usually come with war or accidents, and as people see you in a wheelchair, oh, it must have been an accident, so they don't ask the questions because they don't want to bring up some sort of trauma. There tends to be more apologies and acceptance of a guy in a wheelchair. While being on a skateboard, I tend to get more glares and people questioning why I'm down there. But I do get some reaction on the other end. They're like, wow, that's pretty cool, or oh, that's a neat way to get around. Why it's fully acceptable to ask a guy riding on a skateboard why he doesn't have legs versus a wheelchair is beyond me, but there is definitely a different perception. Some people really just do not understand why I don't wear my prosthetics all the time. They see it as when you want to have feet, isn't having feet the best thing in the world? And I said, yeah, it's nice. Just like riding a bike, it gets you from point A to point B, but it's not the end-all be-all. Frankly, they're not 100% comfortable, and they're not the easiest thing to do. I like having the ability to walk around without my legs, use a skateboard, use a wheelchair, drive a car. It's actually providing me greater freedom if I'm able to go about the day any way I choose. Generally speaking, if I can't reach something on a top shelf, I'll be like, hey, can you get that for me? I tend to be pretty open about asking for help and accepting help and receiving it from others without being overly dependent on anyone. I'm often asked, oh, you have pain in your limbs, or did you wish you ever had the ability to run, or do you miss running? Do you miss your feet? And I say, no, I was born without legs. I didn't lose them. So for me, it's actually more beneficial because I've had my entire life to get used to my lifestyle, doing the things that I do, as opposed to going through some tragedy. You have a different mindset from a very, very small age, and you see the way that other people look at you, follow you around, and some people treat you differently. I want people to know that I'm accomplished, and know that just because you have a disability doesn't mean you're anything less. In fact, it sometimes provides you with a little extra motivation, a little extra leeway to get things done. It's not about me changing the world, so to speak. It's about me living the life that I want to live, and by finding my own joys and happiness in my own life, I can serve as a reflection. People can look at me on the street and say, that guy really affected my way of thinking. I have a great sense of humor. I really enjoy myself. I like my life. I do a lot of crazy, fun things, and I'm not some sad, pathetic person. I've made a lot for myself. A good career, great home, lots of friends, 2 beautiful children, getting my education, really making myself who I am without a lot of assistance from family or too much from the outside world. These are things I'm really proud of. At some point in time, I said that I wished I could walk into a room and nobody would notice me. It's interesting that I said that then. To think of it now, maybe it's slightly different as I've matured and I've thought about it and reflected back on who I am as a person. It's nicer to be noticed and be attracted like a light for people, something that people can follow around and really absorb my energy. So I'd rather shine when I walk into a room rather than not be noticed. It has nothing to do with me not having legs. It has to do with me having the energy, the will, the spirit, the drive. These are internal things. So I've not let my attitude stand in the way despite disability. It's all about tweaking your attitude, changing your mind, using your perspective to support yourself and your own motivation, your own drive. If you want to use that perspective to say, well, this guy's done all this with his life with no legs, I can certainly do something with mine. Sure, I'll lend myself to that. I don't know that I've ever thought I was born without legs for a reason. Like, I kind of go with the flow more. So to say that there was a reason that I don't have legs, that's like to say that everybody has a purpose or reason. I don't know. I am making my life into what I want it to be.